Right now at 6, Joplin begins laying down the groundwork for a fiber optic network.
Now we've got showers and thunderstorms rolling through the area, so a bit of a loud start for some of you. No severe weather, but we'll take a look at these storms and how long they'll last in that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, a Missouri utility company says it has some good news for their customers.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Wednesday, November the 13th, and we are getting, again, just that much closer to the holidays.
Yes.
And Thanksgiving is around the corner, always an exciting time.
Certainly.
We got to have the holidays because sometimes, winter can be a bit dreary. We need something to spice it up, spruce it up, I guess.
Absolutely.
And we are getting a little bit of something from Mother Nature to brighten our morning with some showers and storms rolling through the area. And as I mentioned, and I do, again, want to emphasize, no severe weather.
Yes.
Okay, we could see some pea-sized hail with a couple of the storms, but that's still well below severe criteria. Nothing to worry about with that, but we are getting a fair amount of lightning with these storms. Let's take a look first outside with our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. We've got it again, still pointed off roughly to the southwest. We've still got showers and storms to the west of Pittsburgh, but as I've mentioned, because of the placement of the camera on this building at 4th and Broadway, we can't really turn it west or northwest because then all you'll see is that roof line. But we've still been seeing some flashes of lightning out here to the southwest of Pittsburgh. You can see the flags at City Hall blowing. It's still very breezy. MoDOT camera 20th and range line, same situation. Now, we don't, of course, control the MoDOT cameras, but this one is pointed almost northwest, and above the Bel Air Center, we've still been seeing that lightning with those showers and storms that are, again, still off to the west of Pittsburgh. They're a little closer to Chanute and Parsons right now. So that kind of gives you an idea, though. The lightning has still been a significant issue out there. So even though the storms aren't severe, the last count we just pulled up, so this batch of storms from Garnett, Iola, Chanute, down toward Parsons, 37 lightning strikes with this activity. And we're starting to see it ramp back up, but the last count I did just before we came on the air, 25 strikes with the storms into Elk and Chautauqua counties. So it's come down a bit, but you're also watching new lightning strikes appear on here. So lightning is dangerous and deadly whether the storms are severe or not, so do be aware of that. But Howard, Sedan, getting the thunderstorms. Fredonia, Yates Center, Independence, you're going to be up for another round. Chanute, Iola, Garnett, Parsons getting in on this first batch. And then down into Oklahoma, you've dried out for now, but right here, just west of the 75 corridor, another line of showers and storms stretching down towards Skiatook. And that's going to continue to lift off to the north and east. And so again, and we've also had new development taking place much further south. So that's all going to continue to push off into our area and give us these scattered showers and storms as we continue through the morning. And again, the main consistency is by about, say, noon, 1 o'clock or so, showers and storms are gone. We'll still be mostly cloudy. It won't be until the late evening and overnight hours that we'll start to see at least some kind of clearing. Quick check of your temperatures. Again, cool out here. We've got mid-40s Monette, upper 40s Cassville, Stockton. Most of us, though, low to mid-50s. We should be in the upper 30s, so again, well above normal. Kids get on the bus, 53. Scattered storms. Southeast winds gusting to 20 when the bus brings them home. Mostly cloudy skies, 62. West winds now gusting 25 to 30. Those gusty winds continue through the evening and overnight as well. And we'll have those mostly cloudy skies this afternoon. Highs today, upper 50s and low 60s. It's going to get cold, then it's going to get warm, then it's going to get really cold. Details on that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, the Pittsburgh mayor says the city is strong and growing in the annual State of the City address. Mayor Stu Hyde gave Pittsburgh residents insights into the city's progress during yesterday's address at Memorial Auditorium. The mayor cited a number of new developments in the city, and those include the launch of the city trash collection program, expansion of Pit Plastic, completion of the downtown redevelopment plan, the start of a new housing needs plan, and a new wastewater treatment plant.
Constantly, looking and evaluating and looking at new ways to invest in our infrastructure. We're going to be putting out bids soon for our new $50 million wastewater treatment plant. That's a huge commitment, obviously financially, but also it's a reinvestment into our future and our kids' futures.
The mayor also highlighted new healthcare facilities, including recent developments with Mercy Pittsburgh. Well, here's something you don't get very often, some good news regarding your gas bill. After approval from the Missouri Public Service Commission, Spire gas customers will see a significant bill decrease starting Friday. Now, the decrease is due to a new adjustment approved by the commission that reflects lower gas prices and the recovery of deferred costs from 2021's winter storm. Now, assuming normal usage, the average monthly bill will drop by $18.70 for the typical Spire residential customer in western Missouri. For eastern Missouri, the average monthly bill will decrease by $15.86. The nation is grappling with a growing shortage of pharmacists and pharmacy technicians, and Missouri is particularly affected, ranking among the lowest in pharmacist to population ratios. Some experts warn that if this issue isn't addressed soon, it could evolve into a serious public health crisis.
In 2024, when they graduate in May, we'll already be down to 9,500. So we need 13,500. We'll be down to 9,500. In a few years, based on enrollment in the pharmacy programs, we're anticipating that it'll be around 6,000. So we need 13,500. We're going to have 6,000.
Some experts say the problem is due to low student enrollment in pharmacy programs and the fact that many pharmacists are retiring. Well, groundbreaking in Joplin celebrates what officials hope will be a step towards a more connected city. City leaders joined with Allo Fiber to mark the beginning of a multi-million-dollar project which will bring 100% fiber optic options for internet, TV, and phone plans. KOAM Samantha Walker has more on how project leaders believe this will help Joplin grow.
Ground has officially broken for a new fiber optic system in Joplin that hopes to better connect the community. The company Allo Fiber offers 100% fiber internet, TV, and phone services in dozens of cities across Arizona, Colorado, and Nebraska. Joplin will be the company's first in Missouri.
Quite often, communities that we go into are behind the average on internet speeds, other things with technology.
Allo is investing $40 million into the project, while the city of Joplin is putting forward $5 million. Joplin city leaders say the fiber system will help meet the demands of the community.
Being able to bring this connectivity and this fiber optic cable to everybody is going to be a game changer. Our life is not going to be the same anymore. We're going to be able to get online. There's not going to be any buffering. We're going to be able to get the information we need.
Allo Fiber started work in Joplin earlier this month. Workers are focusing on what will be the company's central offices in Joplin, where the fiber optics will spider web out of. There will be 2 of those offices in the city, as city leaders wanted to ensure that if anything happened to one center, another would still likely be able to operate. Work on this project is expected to take 2 to 3 years, and construction will be seen all across the city. Project leaders have divided Joplin into a grid, with each square consisting of 1,000 rooftops of homes, businesses, and government buildings. Residents and business owners will be alerted to future work in their neighborhoods by a mailed postcard. The Allo Fiber CEO and Joplin city leaders say while the next few years will see some big changes, they believe the work will be worth it in the end.
It is disruptive, but we'll be bringing up customers 6 to 8 months from now. This is a utility. This will last for 30 to 50 years.
Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Allo Fiber offers an interactive map where you can see where work is being done across Joplin. You can find a link to that resource on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes coming up on the KOAM Morning News. A federal judge has temporarily blocked a Louisiana law that requires classrooms to display the 10 Commandments. Plus, President-elect Donald Trump is back at the White House to meet with President Joe Biden. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Wednesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, topping Nation Watch this morning. The chicken wars have ignited again, but this time it's about who gets to call their recipe original. Last week, KFC sued Church's Texas Chicken, alleging trademark violations. KFC said Church's abruptly started using the phrase original recipe in its advertising and promotions and has ignored letters objecting to the ads. In the disputed promotions, Church's posted photos of its fried chicken deals with the text, "Our original recipe is back." Now, the phrase original recipe has long been part of KFC's branding, and the company first trademarked it in 1984. Church's declined to comment, citing active litigation. Louisiana law requiring the 10 Commandments be displayed in public school classrooms is blocked for now. Tuesday, a federal judge ruled the law is likely unconstitutional and granted a preliminary injunction. That means the state won't be able to enforce the law while the case plays out in court. Now, this comes after the American Civil Liberties Union and other civil rights groups brought a lawsuit on behalf of several multi-faith families. They argued the law violates their First Amendment rights to have a say in their children's religious upbringings. The law was said to take effect on January 1st. Well, soon, President-elect Donald Trump will return to the White House to meet with the man who ousted him nearly 4 years ago, President Joe Biden. And Mr. Biden has said that he invited Mr. Trump to the People's House to ensure a smooth transition. Now, it comes as Trump has been busy this week naming his picks to head up key roles in his incoming administration. Jared Hill has more from New York, as Trump is also expected to meet with House Republicans this morning.
This morning, President-elect Donald Trump back at the White House, meeting with President Joe Biden, who once called him an existential threat to democracy.
He believes in the norms. He believes in our institution. He believes in a peaceful transfer of power.
The visit comes as Trump has been quickly building his new administration. Yesterday, the president-elect said billionaire Elon Musk and entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy will co-chair a newly created Department of Government Efficiency designed to dismantle government bureaucracy and slash excess waste, calling it the Manhattan Project of our time.
Your money is being wasted, and the Department of Government Efficiency is going to fix that.
Trump also nominated former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee, a strong defender of Israel who's against a two-state solution with Palestinians, as U.S. ambassador to Israel. Former Texas Congressman John Ratcliffe, once Trump's director of national intelligence, picked as CIA director, and Army veteran and Fox News host Pete Hegseth named Secretary of Defense, a pick that drew this reaction from the top Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee.
He does not seem to have much of a detailed background in DoD policy. The lack of experience is concerning.
The new Republican-led Senate will have to confirm Hegseth and other Trump cabinet-level picks in the coming weeks. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Incoming First Lady Melania Trump is not expected to accompany her husband on his visit to the White House today, though First Lady Jill Biden did extend an invitation for a traditional tea. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got showers and thunderstorms rolling through the area. The first batch is ahead and into parts of southeast Kansas. Second batch now, a line of storms stretching all the way down south of Tulsa now, down toward McAllister. We'll take a look at these storms and that forecast for the week ahead when we come back.
Well, it's been more than 20 years since a North Texas man celebrated his high school football team winning the state championship. Blake Poole says he always cherished the championship ring he received. But decades ago, someone stole his prized possession during a home invasion. And now, thanks to a stranger's discovery on social media, Poole's story has taken a surprise turn. Nicole Nielsen has more.
You know, I wasn't the star of the team, but basically, here's my beautiful bleach blonde hair.
Blake Poole remembers 2002 well. It was the year his football team, the South Lake Carroll Dragons, won the state championship.
I think this was after a win.
The team all received beautiful rings as a symbol of their accomplishment. But the next year, a home invasion in 2003 meant it was stolen alongside other family heirlooms.
It was just one of those times where it's like, man, it was special. It took a lot of work to get it for, the team, and It's been 20 years at this point, but at the time, I mean, it was a pretty big deal.
As the years passed, he almost forgot about the ring. But on Monday, a Facebook post caught his wife's eye.
I knew that people would see it and knew that it was a prized possession and that they would try and help find who owned it.
Dusty Steele came across a Facebook Marketplace listing over the weekend selling the ring for just $50.
My first thought when I saw it was, this has got to be lost or stolen.
He decided to purchase it with the intent to find Poole, the only clue being a last name on the ring. And within 30 minutes on social media, he'd been found. The pair met up within a matter of hours to finally place the ring back on the right hand.
You could tell that it meant a lot to him.
Today, Mr. Poole spent the morning reminiscing on the good times, excited to share photos and his ring with his own son.
It's refreshing that people still care enough these days to help somebody out.
A case of strangers helping strangers, proving that patience sometimes does pay off, and that simple acts of kindness aren't so rare after all.
That year, the Dragon team was predicted to finish 4th in the district, but ended up 10-0 and eventually went on to beat a team from San Antonio to win the state championship. Now let's check in with Chris for a quick look at the forecast.
Yeah, we're still watching scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area. We'll have a more in-depth look at those storms when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. We had the Joplin Tower cam up, but it suddenly went into grayscale mode, so I had to switch out of that very quickly. But that's all right, though. Still seeing some lightning from that camera, though. Remember, it's positioned right about here, and it's looking now back this way toward these storms around the Chanute area, and so we're still seeing that. So lightning counts, again, they're fluctuating. The storms are kind of cycling. Nothing severe. I really want to emphasize that. There's nothing severe this morning. You may get some pea-sized hail here or there, but we're not looking at anything too wild. What we are looking at, though, is there's a lot of electrical activity with these storms. Now, right now, this batch here, there's about 32 strikes in this zone here from Garnett down toward Iola and to the southeast of Chanute. With this batch, just through Greenwood, Elk, and Chautauqua counties down to west of Independence, that's 25 strikes. So again, counts are coming down a bit, but we are still watching these storms as they continue to kind of cycle around. The lightning counts have dropped off, then they'll pick back up, and it's kind of been bouncing back and forth. The lightning, dangerous, deadly, whether the storm is severe or not. Washington County, almost the entire county now, this is lining up right along the 75 corridor, and so we've got showers, thunderstorms out there. You can kind of see that little purplish color there. That's some of that heavier rain, and again, maybe some pea-sized hail. We head back up into southeastern Kansas. Sedan, now in a little hole here. You've got more showers towards Cedarvale, but no major thunderstorm activity there. And we got thunderstorms off to your east, so Independence, Coffeyville, Fredonia, you're getting ready to get in on round 2. Howard, you're just getting out of round 2. And then that means Chanute, Erie, you're right in the thick of it right now. Parsons, you got some showers on the north side, and you're sandwiched in between this next round of showers and storms. Up to the north, let me slide this a little bit further to the east. All right, so outside of Yates Center, you've got more showers and storms coming up, 54 and 400 out there. 59 corridor, Garnett all the way down to Erie. Showers, thunderstorms, heavy rain. Flooding's not a major concern this morning, but definitely some heavy rain, so slow down out there. Do be careful and watch out. You don't want to go hydroplaning either. Fort Scott, Mountain City, eventually all of this starting to roll into your area. Now this first batch is going to ultimately, it looks like it's going to miss Pittsburgh just to the north, but we'll get into Fort Scott and eventually maybe Nevada and just north of Lamar. This second line, though, this one's the one, it's not really going to miss anybody. Take a look. It stretches all the way back down toward Tulsa, down just to the north of McAllister along the I-40 corridor, and all of that is, again, lifting off to the north and east. And this line is filled in. Again, not severe, but we're just getting more development along it, and that's what's going to sweep across the rest of the area and eventually bring all of us those showers and storms. Again, a consistency on the future track. Here we are at noon. The bulk of any rain or thunderstorm activity now mainly in the Missouri side of things here. And then by about 1, 2 o'clock, it's out of here. Maybe a stray sprinkle left behind. Mostly cloudy skies, and it won't be until late this evening and overnight that skies will clear and temperatures are going to be cold, but seasonably so as we fall back into the upper 30s. Our camera 7th and range line in Joplin. Again, we've been watching that lightning off to the north and west. 52 is where we're at right now. And around the area, keep in mind, average lows upper 30s. The closest we've got are the upper 40s, Monette and Cassville. Most of the region here in the low to mid 50s. As we get our morning started, again, scattered showers and thunderstorms through the morning. Not a lot of movement on temperatures. 54 at 8. 58 by 11. That's only a degree every hour just about in terms of increases. And we're looking at highs today, upper 50s, low 60s. So pretty close to average. So that means average lows tonight, tomorrow, average for us on Thursday. Warmer into the weekend, showers, thunderstorms on Monday. We cool down, then we have more showers by the middle of next week. Also an Arctic air mass rolling in, bringing our temperatures well below normal. So we're talking a cold rain out there for sure. Let's check your forecast. Here's Elise now with Health Watch.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, people who switch from cigarettes to vaping tend to see improvements on their respiratory health. A study by Oxford University Press found that while quitting cigarettes and vaping is the healthiest option, people who switch from cigarettes to e-cigarettes experienced less coughing and wheezing. But people who use both products saw their symptoms get worse. Vitamin D supplements can help lower blood pressure for certain people. A study by the Endocrine Society shows that older people with obesity and people with low vitamin D levels saw the most benefit. But the study also says taking more than the recommended daily dose of vitamin D has no added benefits. Well, do you have a sweet tooth? You can blame genetics for that. A study by the University of Nottingham identified what's called the SI gene, which impacts our ability to digest sugars. People who had a defective gene didn't like sugary foods as much, while people who had a normal SI liked sweets more and tended to eat them more often. And that's a look at Health Watch. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, the Creative Learning Alliance gets a financial boost from a Joplin utility.
And showers and thunderstorms continuing to roll through the area. There's some of that lightning north of Pittsburgh. We'll have a look at those storms and that forecast to get you out the door. Coming up.
Plus, the city of Joplin gets ready to raise the curtain on a new community movie theater.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News at 6:31. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. It is now Wednesday, November the 13th. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And some of you probably waking up to loudness outside. Maybe a little loud start to the day for you. We got some thunderstorms out there this morning. We talked about the fact they were coming. The good news is we had those updates yesterday with more widespread rain instead of just the isolated rain, because we need more rain. And that's exactly what we're getting. Let's start with a look outside. Our camera downtown Pittsburgh, we've taken it and pointed it back to the north now. So back up Broadway there, looking almost toward Fort Scott. And every so often, we get a good flash of lightning out there. So that's the thing. We don't have any severe weather, nor are we anticipating any severe weather, but we do have ample lightning with these storms. And remember, even if the storm isn't strong or severe, the lightning is still dangerous. Lightning is still deadly. You don't want to mess around with it. Just did an updated count on lightning, and we're going to show you, or we're going to talk about that here in just a moment, but you saw some there. This is the MoDOT camera. My playlists are all over the place this morning. 20th and Rangeline Joplin. Again, it's looking roughly northwest. Again, we've seen some of that lightning. And right now, the main batch of storms that we could see the lightning from is starting to lift off this direction, so we're not seeing as much here. But this is what we are looking at. So this cluster of storms, 32 lightning strikes in this zone here. So again, Garnett, west of Mound City, down toward just east of Iola, and to the east of Chanute. And then this cluster of storms, we've only got the count into northern Washington County, but also 32 lightning strikes out here. So very, very peculiar, but they both came up with the same number. Let's start with these storms. We have this cluster, again, Garnett, Iola, Chanute. This is heading toward Fort Scott, toward Mound City, and again, bringing a fair amount of rain. Flooding's not a concern, but this is heavy rain. You want to make sure you got to be careful on the highways or any roadways. You don't want to hydroplane, and just slow down if the rain picks up too much. And then Yates Center, Fredonia, getting ready to get in on a second round of showers and storms, just exiting Eureka and Howard. Independence, you are now getting in on round number 2 as well. Back into Oklahoma, in Newada County, you are are up next. We've got these thunderstorms. You see these pink areas here? There is the possibility of maybe some pea-sized hail, so well below severe limits. But if you hear some hail, you see some hail, it's not going to get too crazy, but just a heads up there. So all of Washington County into the thunderstorm activity, and that is a fair amount of lightning taking place between Bartlesville, Ramona, and Skiatook. So again, you don't want to play around with the lightning. Now this line has developed much further south down toward the I-40 corridor, and so as it continues to lift to the north and east, this line will eventually bring enough showers and thunderstorms to the rest of the area as we head through the first half of our Wednesday. Consistency on the future track. By noon, most of the showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, will be on the Missouri side, and by about 1, 2 o'clock, the last of it is out of here. We're mostly cloudy for most of the day after that. It won't be until later this evening that we'll start to see those skies clearing. 52, both Joplin and Pittsburgh right now, and across the area, the coolest spots we have are Monette and Cassville sitting into the upper 40s. Everyone else low to mid 50s, and we again should be in the upper 30s, so well above average. Kids getting on the bus this morning. 53, scattered storms, southeast winds gusting to 20, and winds will shift out of the west through the late morning into the afternoon, gusting 25, maybe 30. Mostly cloudy, 62 when that bus comes home. Highs today again, upper 50s, low 60s. We'll have mostly cloudy skies into the evening, and by late evening we will begin to clear out. We're going to get a little cold, and then we're going to get a little warm, and then we're going to get really cold by next week. Details on that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, Fort Scott announces a new home for its branch of the Department of Children and Families. They say the new building is a modern workspace designed with DCF employees and clients in mind. Now, it's intended to provide convenient access to residents of Fort Scott and the surrounding area. Next Tuesday, the community is invited out to celebrate the service center opening with a ribbon cutting ceremony. The new building is at 10 South National Avenue. Well, Royal Cinema Lounge in Joplin will soon be open to the community. The theater will take over the old Bookhouse Cinema location and provide the community with both an indoor and outdoor theater. They'll also have a lounge space where people can choose from a selection of movies to watch on the VCR. They plan to continue showing independent movies and classic films.
We're hoping to play movies people have missed, whether it's independent films from a few months ago or a movie from the 70s that you maybe never heard of, or like a movie that you feel like you should watch that's not in theaters, like A Space Odyssey or The Shining.
The space will also be available for people to rent, and they plan to open the theater before the end of the year. Well, a Joplin utility makes a big donation to a local nonprofit yesterday. Missouri American Water presented a check for $25,000 to the Creative Learning Alliance to fund an interactive exhibit. The check comes as part of the American Water Charitable Foundation Workforce Readiness /STEM grant. The Alliance says the grant goes a long way towards bringing something to the community.
We really want to do is bring an amenity to the community, bring an attraction, but also we want to start early all the way up through graduation and beyond with a love of science and fill some of those jobs that are out there right now.
The Bubble Monster exhibit is a hands-on creative experience using water and physics. Well, Newton County kicked off its annual food basket program yesterday. The mission of the Newton County Food Basket is to assist families during the Christmas season. A Christmas dinner and nearly 2 weeks of staples are distributed to families who need a little help to get through the holidays.
It's an incredible feeling of relief, you could say, to have a kickoff like this, $3,500. It's a nice start off for us. We look to try to get close to $40,000 in donations if we can, in cash donations. So this gets us on our way.
This year marks the 37th annual food basket event for Newton County. Well, some people might say their favorite part of the Christmas season is the decorations. And last night, Crowder College held its 22nd annual Festival of Wreaths. The event in the Elsie Plaster Community Center featured both an electronic silent auction and a live auction. Organizers say holiday wreaths and decor are a mainstay of the Festival of Wreaths, but other auction merchandise included everything from gift baskets and apparel to trips, electronics, and household items.
Tonight we're just hoping to raise as much money for our student scholarships as we can. This is our 22nd annual Festival of Wreaths here, and it's just a great night for people to come out, support a good cause, and kick off the holiday season.
Last year's event raised more than $95,000 for scholarships and program support. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. American Airlines is now suspending flights to and from Haiti after it discovered one of its planes was hit by gunfire. And we're tracking rain chances for today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, multiple retailers, including Sephora, Home Depot, and Kohl's, are refuting claims they donated to President-elect Donald Trump's campaign. Now, the companies have been the subject of viral social media videos calling for boycotts. Federal law prohibits corporations from directly contributing to candidates in federal elections using general funds, though they can support super PACs. The FAA has banned all flights to Haiti for 30 days after multiple airlines discovered bullet damage to planes headed for the U.S. It comes after a Spirit Airlines plane was forced to divert to the Dominican Republic after it was struck by gunfire while attempting to land in Port-au-Prince. The FBI is trying to determine if U.S. air carriers are being targeted by criminal gangs in Haiti. And Kraft Heinz is removing its Lunchables from the program that provides free and discounted meals to millions of low-income children. Consumer advocate groups say tests of the popular prepackaged meat, cheese, and crackers meals found concerning levels of lead and sodium. The company says the product has received misleading negative publicity and also noted in a statement that Lunchables sales in schools did not meet the company's targets. And that's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're starting with our camera downtown Pittsburgh, looking back to the north. As we get a little more daylight out there, it'll be a little harder to see any of that lightning on the horizon. But we have thunderstorms north of Pittsburgh. They're going to be rolling into the Fort Scott Mound City area here soon. MoDOT camera 20th and range line in Joplin. Cloudy skies out there as well. Again, we had seen some lightning in the distance. Right now, storm's getting a little too far from the Joplin area to be able to see anything. And of course, again, as we get more daylight, it's going to be a lot harder to see it in the distance. All right, taking a look at Skywatch Storm Tracker. Showers, thunderstorms into southeast Kansas. Here's round one. And this is the round that's eventually going to get into Fort Scott and Mound City here before too much longer, say the next half hour or so. And then we have round two, this line of storms which has developed, which goes way down toward the I-40 corridor. So here's a closer look at that. Garnett, you're in the thick of it. Iola, you are in between rounds 1 and 2, as is Chanute. Parsons, round 2 is knocking on your door. So this batch, again, this is going to miss Pittsburgh, but as it tracks to the northeast, Butler, Nevada, parts of the I-49 corridor will eventually be up next. And then down in Oklahoma, this is just a small sample of this line, now pushing into Newada County. So Newada itself up next, Bartlesville, Ramona. Look at all of this lightning. So like I said, even though storms aren't severe, the lightning's still dangerous and deadly, and that line again extending all the way down to the I-40 corridor. So it's round 2, and will give a broader area, a broader portion of our region, shower and thunderstorm chances. But again, no severe weather. Future track by noon, these storms are on their way on out of here. Will be mostly cloudy behind it. It won't be until the late evening and overnight hours that we'll start to clear out. Well, it's almost time to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. We're going to do that after this commercial break. We'll also have another look at your forecast for you. But first, here's what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Gail Kane. Coming right up on CBS Mornings, Grammy Award-winning musician John Driscoll Hopkins of the Zac Brown Band joins us in studio to talk about his ALS diagnosis, why he says more than ever we need to lean on each other. That's coming right up on CBS Mornings.
All right, time for some Wednesday birthdays in the 4 states. We're going to start over in Carthage with Raylan Martin celebrating birthday number 7.
And in Neodesha, a happy 12th birthday to Lacey Parrott.
And in Moran, we've got Colin Ard celebrating birthday number 15. Happy birthday.
And in Humboldt, a happy 15th birthday to Elizabeth Black. It says here, love from Grandma Olivia, Judson, Georgia, Emily, Daniel Jr., and the rest of the family. Happy birthday.
And we've got Jersey Stevens celebrating birthday number 17 with love coming from Granny.
And a happy 26th birthday to Camry Hardy in Carl Junction.
And in Frontenac, Trina Ashmore celebrating birthday number 35 today. Happy birthday.
And in Fort Scott, Paul and Dylan Ballou are celebrating their birthdays today. Paul is turning 65 and Dylan is turning 10, and they are grandfather and grandson. Happy birthday to you both. What
a special birthday celebration. And last but certainly not least, we've got Sandra Robles celebrating another year wiser. And of course, another great list of birthdays out there. We would like to celebrate more of these, of course. And how can they help us do that, Elise?
Go ahead and submit those birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com. Be sure to include those wonderful photos, messages to meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen, and to also include the date of your celebration when submitting.
You certainly want to make sure you include that information for sure. All right, let's start with the Skywatch Storm Tracker. So we've got showers, we've got thunderstorms across the region. And we've also been doing the lightning counts. We're still up to about 17 or so lightning strikes with this batch. And I did want to get specific on the storms in Washington County, because you can tell right now just all that lightning cluster down there. 45 lightning strikes in Washington County alone. And there's more popping up as we speak. So again, the storms themselves, not severe, but the lightning, dangerous and deadly regardless. So you can see there's a big cluster of it now right around Bartlesville, rolling into western Newata County. So from Lenapaw down to Newata and Oologah, we've got additional showers and storms pushing into the area, and they will continue to lift off to the northeast. Now, Sedan, Chautauqua County, you're pretty well done. You've got some showers, some moderate rain, clipping the parts of the county. It's done. It's over. Howard and into Elk County, you're going to be done before too much longer yourself, as will our friends up in Greenwood County and around Eureka. That's all going to start to wrap up. This line is the last round of showers and storms that's got to push through the area. So right now, Coffeyville in the thick of it. Independence, some heavier rain back to your west, but thunderstorm activity pushing to your east. This is parts of 75 and 169 out there. Parsons, Erie, you're up for round 2, and eventually, of course, Oswego as well. We had a little further north. We got some decent rounds of rain falling from Garnett in between Iola and Fort Scott on 54, just to the north of Erie, east of Chanute, and east of Iola. So this is that first round, and it's kind of congealed into just this blob of showers and storms up here. And then round 2, Yates Center, you've got some moderate rainfall now. You've got heavier showers and thunderstorms back to your west, just north of Fredonia as well. So Webster, you're going to be up next. Chanute, you're probably going to be clipped by round number 2 here. It's going to be immediately to your south, and I think parts of that could get into the area as well. The heavier thunderstorm activity now is on the southern ends of round 2. And just look at all that lightning down there. So again, you've got to play it safe. Stretches down to Tulsa, all the way down to just north of the I-40 corridor. So all of this, again, lifting off to the north and east. So round 1, it's going to probably, to see, it's kind of fizzling out on the end. So it may even miss Fort Scott just to the north. But Mound City, maybe into Nevada and Butler, probably going to get some of round 1. Round 2, though, is what's going to bring showers and thunderstorms to a broader portion of the area. I think in the northern portions, it's kind of winding down a bit in terms of thunderstorm activity. So we're looking more just rain, but maybe some rumbles of thunder. But the thunderstorm activity is kind of picked up on the southern edge of this, and that's what's going to roll into eventually Columbus, Galena, Joplin, Monette, Mount Vernon, Lamar, Neosho, Anderson. Kind of get the idea. Miami, Grove. It's going to be rolling right through there, and so we'll watch that. Again, maybe some pea-size hail, but nothing severe with this activity. Again, consistency on future track by noon. The bulk of what's left is on the Missouri side, and then by about 2, 3 o'clock, it is gone, and we are mostly cloudy behind it, and we'll have some eventual clearing that will take place late evening and overnight, allowing us to get pretty darn chilly tonight, but seasonably cold back into the upper 30s. We'll take another look at your forecast, including that 10-day forecast for you in just a moment, as well as the news you need to know. And of course, when we switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., we're going to see how a California man is using his talent as an artist to help others heal.
Well, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Some good news for some Missouri residents. Spire gas customers will see a significant bill decrease starting Friday. Now, the decrease is due to a new adjustment that reflects lower gas prices and the recovery of deferred costs from the 2021 winter storm. Assuming normal usage, the average monthly bill will drop by $18.70 for the typical Spire residential customer in western Missouri. The nation is grappling with a growing shortage of pharmacists and pharmacy technicians, and Missouri is particularly affected, ranking among the lowest in pharmacist to population ratios. Some experts warn that if this issue isn't addressed soon, it could evolve into a serious public health crisis. Fort Scott announces a new home for its branch of the Department of Children and Families. The new building is intended to provide convenient access to residents of Fort Scott and the surrounding area. Next Tuesday, the community is invited out to celebrate the service center opening with a ribbon-cutting ceremony. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And after we're done with these showers and storms, again, they'll be wrapping up between noon and 2. We'll be mostly cloudy back behind all this activity. And we're going to make highs upper 50s, low 60s. It's going to be windy, too. Winds will shift out of the west, gusting 25, maybe 30. Those gusty winds out of the west continue overnight, and skies will gradually clear out through the late evening and overnight. And without that thermal blanket, temperatures seasonable. They're going to be cold, upper 30s out there. Again, seasonable tomorrow, upper 50s, low 60s, and lows back into the 30s. We warm up heading into the weekend. Showers, thunderstorms possible on Monday. A break Tuesday. We get an Arctic air mass, and we're keeping a close eye on it, but we're going to get some rain by the middle of next week, and temperatures are going to drop well below normal out there. So regardless of what kind of precipitation we may get, make sure you bundle up because it's going to be chilly.
All righty. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making one pot penne in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. And this morning, Stephanie Mann from the Joplin Association for the Blind and Low Vision joins us in the studio to talk about their annual chili and soup fundraiser.
And Olivia Ryan also joins us in the studio to talk about the Special Olympics second annual Sip and Shop fashion show. However, it's going to wrap it up for us for now. We will be back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
Yes, we will, and we'll see you today at noon.